Hello, folks, and welcome to Windrose. Now, this is definitely not the start of the journey, but it is quite early on. The character, only level 3, and just barely there, basically just made it to level 3. In fact, I only just got the cannons onto my boat, mainly because of the spawning of stuff being on like 3, technically 4 separate islands, so it took quite a while to search for all the different stuff. But we have now got a full ship accomplished. I have got a few different pieces of armor equipped, and I have a nice little set of weapons which have been upgraded just a little bit. So this is kind of like about 5 hours in, and so just enough for me to kind of learn the game, but also have not gone too far to make it too trivial to, begin showing off things. So first things first, we have to start our day by cooking something good. Alright, so let's make up some of this coconut milk, a hearty egg broth, and some spicy skewered crab. Very nice. Because in this game, if you eat your food, you can get some good bonuses. So, for example, here, this increases maximum health and lasts for 30 minutes. And then this one will increase maximum health and last for 15 minutes. And so if we eat our soup, if I now have the pineapple, the health will go up a good amount. So now we have our health up quite nicely. If you're unfamiliar with this game, Windrose is a pirate-based survival game set in an open-world sea environment with actually procedurally generated terrain, which is very cool compared to, for example, another survival game that will probably be on the channel soon, Pal World. And so far, it has been incredibly fun. So yeah, we should start with a little base tool now that we've eaten our food. So, starting out, this is the starting camp, which will probably be getting redesigned. Coming into here, we have the what used to be the original starter shack, but has now had an expanded bedroom area with a beautiful oceanside view. And then the other expansion, which is the alchemy section, which has already come into quite some use, making all sorts of different elixirs and such. And then have all my ingredients for elixirs stored in here. And then the newest thing that I built, basically right before the time of recording, is this little shack here. And so this is our ship and naval area. So we have the first ship in the game, which I just equipped with cannons, and I now have a quest to do with that. And then over here, I have our shipwright workshop, where eventually I should be upgrading all of this. And then the wharf, which is now over here. That's how you manage and equip your ship. So as you can see, I only have the 12-pounders right now, which are a uncommon and 100 attack. As we get more upgrades and stuff, we will upgrade that further. And then in terms of other unlocks that we have, in the discovery, we can see all the things. We have the local threat, which is something we haven't quite seen yet, so that'll be interesting, and that seems to unlock more stuff. As well as what seems to be a couple other types of food, of seeds, I would assume, here that we've yet to find. Seems to be different types of tree seeds. As well as another resource that we're missing at the moment. So we've almost fully unlocked the coastal jungle biome. And then next up will be the foothills biome. So that would be quite interesting. And then of course there's the cursed swamps, and then the ashlands, which is going to be coming soon. I hope to eventually make videos once that comes out. On to adventure. We have a couple main quests, but we're not quite high enough level for this. So we're currently doing a mix of side quests and tutorial quests. For example, the How My Sea adventure began, and that's what I was going to do once we got back on today. First, a little bit of inventory cleaning, and I will be back once I finish that. Okay, we have finished with the inventory management, and now it is time to board our fine vessel. Alright, there we go, ship management. So here we can access our cargo, and we have the ship action panel. And so I can put some of these in here. So these are repair kits, these will let us repair. And we're going to have the 2 of those equipped. And then Don't really need anything else, but for now, I'm going to put these in the cargo since I'm hopefully going to be trading those away. Ship is at full health. We have our 12-pounder cannons. And we have our heading down here to the south. And that is going to be how our sea adventures began.
Captain at the helm!
And look at our glorious, very large ship. As we make our way to our destination, down here. Ooh, interesting. So over there is Blackbeard waters. Blackbeard pirates control these waters. Help is unlikely. Spoils, plasters, Blackbeard insignias, trade goods, coffee, and salt. Very nice. There's a Blackbeard raider. We're going to attempt to avoid that for now. And hopefully we'll not find any other Blackbeard fleets. Taking on 1 or 2 ships will probably be fine. Any more than that, and I would draw concern. Okay, we have now gotten close to the questing area. We have a few different ships here. We have this ketch, and then we have a couple gunboats. So it looks like we are going to have to fight a few different ships here. And I am going to go ahead and open the barrage. Okay. Not quite close enough for those shots. Side cannons. Fire. You got some hits. That's not good. Gonna keep a hell eye on our health. Ooh. We do not want that hauler to engage on us here. You use one of the basic repair kits. Oh, this is not great. Gonna try and cut our line. Use one of the big repair kits. Not going too well. Small repair kit. Go, good hits on that one. Much better. Grab that loot. Immediately use that. Alright, we're chasing her now. Okay. Bring her about. Almost ready to fire again. Or we can attempt to board. Ooh. Shoot. Awful lot of combat here. There we go. We'll take out these rapscallions. Ooh, gotta heal, gotta heal. Nope, okay. So this is the rapier weapon I am using, which is my personal weapon of choice. Alright, the boarding has been completed. Now rest control of our ship. And we can take our spoils and leave. I'll get our last set of spoils, which is over there to the right. Our first naval engagement has been completed.
Blanket tight!
Got a little bit hairy there at times, but we survived.
More sail, more speed!
Yes, watch as she sinks. Alright. We'll go fetch this loot. And then... Ooh, we gotta avoid that fleet. Don't want to fight that right now. Now, before we go do that other quest, we have another kind of a side quest of our own to go do. Just go visit this mine up here. Because the current mine back at our starting island is actually out of ore. And so we're going to have to pull up alongside this land here. Don't mind the ship crashing in. It's perfectly fine, perfectly healthy. Now we're going to go run ashore and go get ourselves some more copper. Ooh, we also need to get ourselves some more food. We're going to have some spicy crab. Basic resource collection in this game is the ore actually spawns inside of these designated mine areas, and I don't know if it regenerates. I've yet to check if it regenerates. Ooh, there's bananas. Go grab them. But from what I know, it spawns inside of these mines, not nodes like some other survival games. And so you have to find these mines on islands, and then you can go into said mines and harvest the ore. So let's head in and go see the ore. I've also crafted a lantern, which is very simple. It just uses animal fat to fuel it, and then you have a nice little mine setup. Seems to be a hidden wall here. Ooh, there's a drowned in here. So far, I've not seen these with enemies, but sometimes they will have enemies and secrets. That's what this one appears to have. This one has quite a lot. Quite a few guys. These thorn fiddlers, they're pretty easy. Especially with the rapier. I like to heavy attack, then dodge backwards. Heavy attack, dodge backwards, then finish them off with the normal attacks. Now, the drowned, they can be a little bit more difficult. Ooh. They have a range attack and also hit pretty hard in melee. But still pretty telegraphed attacks. They're pretty easy to dodge. Or if you want, you can even try and parry them. Ooh. Looks like there's lots more copper in here. Let's take out this thorn fiddler. 2 sets of heavy attacks. Take him out. Ooh, this one's a star too, which is like a... not really like a mini-boss, but like a more elite version of the enemy. That will be more difficult, have higher health, and I think drop better rewards. But the same tactic of going with the heavy attack, fall back, works very well. Which is why I enjoy the rapier. It takes very little stamina to use, and is highly effective. Looks like we have plenty of more copper in here. So much more copper. This will definitely be one that we go to in the future. Another thing we can do to light up is go into our build menu, go simply into crafting utility, and get these standing torches. However, I have no wood, so I cannot make those. That is a good way to keep permanent light up in these mines. But part of the reason I want copper is because of the boarding kits, which I do not quite yet have for my ship, as well as other things that I can face that require lots of copper. And so yeah, copper, and I'm assuming the other ores as well, are quite simple. Find the ores for them, which the copper are these ones with the green, and they'll typically be surrounded by this waste rock, which you sometimes have to break, but then you get to the copper, and then take that back home to smelt. And so it's a pretty simple process to get ore. You just gotta have to find these caves, and once you find them, there should be plenty of delicious ore inside to last you a little while. And I've actually been incorporating the stones into my base, as you have seen with the house. And so that is a good use for all the waste material. That also means that if you want to build a base with stone, you can, and it's relatively simple. Yeah, this is a nice thick piece of copper here. It should give us a lot. And hopefully we don't bleed this mine dry immediately. But it looks like it should last a little while. I have to climb up on top of some ore to get up there. Or it'll let me build in here. I think it will. I have a solution. Build a couple floors. Then we can build up with those. Now we can jump up here and mine these ones. Well, I shall worry about that later, but that is a good test of concept. Let's see. Oh, I was about to say, when is my inventory going to be full? So yeah, we might have all this scrap stone, but you can only hold like 24 copper. So now it's time to go and sort out the inventory. I don't think I need a lot of the scrap stone. So I can just drop that. There's an enemy. Ah. One of the drowned is back. Pick up a health potion. Break this wall down. He threw a rock at me. There we go. Interesting. Okay, so we need to keep an eye out for enemies while in this area. It's not completely safe. So some more ore and some higher quality ore, but not necessarily safe to harvest ore. Looks like we're in the clear, start mining this really nice set of ore, which this one I'm going to learn my lesson, kind of mine top to bottom. Oh, and as you've probably noticed, my stamina is not regaining as fast. That's because we have lost the rested bonus, which you get from staying in a camp or from being on your ship. Both will give a rested bonus, which is very helpful. So early on, you really only get that from your camp. But once you unlock your ship, it allows you to get travel to islands that still have that rested bonus without having to build up a base camp, which is very helpful for exploring. So I've had multiple times where I've run into trouble because I ran out of stamina. Hopefully not have to come back here for a while and continue getting not only quest progression, but also some base progression done. So I will see you guys in a bit once I am done mining. Alright, and we have arrived back at the base. We have got a lot of copper ore built up after that, and we have our next assignment, which is to head over to Tortuga Market. So, that'll be quite nice, and it looks like that is all the way down here. Yes, I believe all the way down here. So that's going to be quite a journey. Before then, I'd like to get more prepared to fight anyone along our way down. And so begins the base upgrades. Now we can go and deposit a lot of our stuff. We can go to here and begin getting some copper smelted already. This takes a decent amount of copper each time. It takes 4 copper and 1 charcoal each time to make each ingot. And then these over here actually are what make charcoal. These simply just take wood and turn it into charcoal after a while at a 1-to-1 ratio. And so, continue smelting our copper. We need to go and get some more wood. And then, as we're working on that, we're likely begin the base expansion, which would be very fun. And by that, I mean we're likely going to put a little bit of an industrial area. Be here, you can see kind of where we have to build in to get the bonfire bonus. And so we'll build some form of refinery area here soon. I think it's going to be probably about here, or we could put it over here. So I'll figure that out. But I will come back to you once I have gathered a bunch of wood and start having more stuff smelting. So real quick, in the middle of my farming, something of note for any of you who might be playing this game. A, trees will hurt you if they land on your head. B, the banana coconut thing that I made earlier actually gives extra stamina, which is what's giving me that like 4th little roundel of stamina over there. And that has been incredibly helpful, especially for the resource gathering, as it lets me more effectively cut down these trees without having to spend as much time waiting for my stamina to come back up. Also on that, the rested fact that I was talking about earlier increases your stamina regeneration when outside of the camp. So as I am breaking all the stuff, the stamina regenerates very quickly, allowing me to continue building up and cutting down more trees. And honestly, it makes the farm for materials in this game quite nice. It's also helpful that the building and such does not take all that many materials. So far, the most grindy material so far has been the copper, but even that is not too bad. It's more so just the fact of it takes a little while to mine, but it's not anything too terrible. Look at that. Timber. Oh, look at that. even less axe work for me to do. Anyway, I'll see you guys again soon. Alright, inventory's full, and we've gotten a good amount of wood. Also, looking up here at the discoveries, I've discovered one of the new seeds, which is the palm seeds. Something I noticed with this game is it does let you grow certain types of seeds. Just go quickly put a bunch of things back. This right now is kind of like my temporary industrial storage chest. Little barrel over here. So I will store all this material inside of here. And the cool thing is this has a like stack all similar. Do that. So you can sort out your items very quickly just by running around your base a little bit. It's very helpful. Getting nice and cleaned up. Now what we're going to do, put a bunch of charcoal into each of these. To like 20 in that one. Take this and put like 20 in this one. And then we're going to add even more to the queue of this. What we are going to do is we are going to do a slight little side quest. It's actually going to be this little bit up here, which is find the pirate chest in this little area up here, which is 15 men on a dead man's chest. And so we're going to go find that chest. We might have to do some combat, but we shall see. Before we go, I'm actually going to grab some of this copper that we've cooked up. Go. And we are going to make a few copper bullets. Go. It should really help us on our travels. With this blunderbuss here, there's a lot of damage and a very big radius. Very helpful. And then this pistol actually has 2 shots. How this works is you can have the 2 weapons out, so you normally would block or you can attack, but then I can also hold out the pistol with Alt, fire like that. So it's very cool that I kind of have the mix of both in one, so I can have the pistol equipped even while I'm using stuff like the axe or the pickaxe, so I can keep defended while I am attacking things. Something like the blunderbuss is a 2-handed weapon, and thus requires both hands to use at all times. Approaching the location, which hopefully will just be digging, but we might have to fight skeletons. I'm unsure, as I have not done this type of activity before. It's called 15 men on a dead man's chest. Now, would it be right here? Would it? Would the chest just be right here? It's unlikely. No. That's what I figured. But I think we need to look around, because I saw a skeleton one time running through this area. There he is. So, I think we need to dig here. Aha! There it is. Chest is battered, but still locked. Means the valuables are probably still inside. Open the chest. Familiar wasp behind you. The air fills with the stink of rotten fresh and shellfish. Holy ground. Actually, this is a perfect example of the blunderbuss. Ooh. See? There we go. Oh, shoot. I ran into a pig. This isn't loaded yet? Oh, God. Okay. The pig was not part of the challenge. But I guess it's here anyway. Ooh. Shoot. Go. Should be not quite loaded yet. Go. Okay. There is a perk where if you have a weapon, I think, equipped, it'll passively reload it, which is very helpful. Ooh. And we go down. Shoot. I got stuck in all the trees, though. Luckily, we have a revive point. It's not too far away. Unfortunately, though, we are a little bit out of food, but I should be able to make more of this coconut. Just gonna make a bunch of that. Drink some of that up. We'll go in here and we'll refill a healing potion. We need to make some more. Let's find these. Take the undead essence, which actually drop from those guys, plus the alchemy base, which takes these misty orchids, which you find around different islands. It's pretty easy to get this all crafted up. Now we can go back out where we died, This game isn't too punishing whenever you die, other than, you know, sending you all the way back to your respawn point, but the enemies are not all that difficult to take out. They'll typically keep their health at what it was when you were last fighting them. And so if you had them low, they will still be low. They will also often kind of be where you last killed them at. Plus, death waypoint isn't too bad. This one looks like it may have reset, which is fine. We just have to try not set off the pigs. I'm gonna actually bring them down here towards the beach. Dodge the rocks. Oh, okay, never mind. They despawned and get too far away. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a tough challenge. Loot for this better be pretty good then. Okay. You first. Oof. Heal up. Okay. Okay, him. There we go, we got a crit on him. Very nice. Oh, there's a guy left in the pit. There we go. Take care of him. Now I have to dig myself out of here. Switch over to the dig function. And dig. Oh god. We can use the flatten, I think. Yeah, which will bring the land back up to us. Ooh, silver ingots. Ooh, okay. Very nice. And a bunch of XP. Very, very nice. That wasn't too bad. I was expecting something like that. There we go. 15 mana on Dead Man's Chest. Now there's this one, which we're not able to complete yet. The Underground Network, which I believe is over at Tortuga. So the next thing is going to be heading over towards Tortuga. That does mean we have our whole island kind of finished up. Let's honestly go finish exploring it. We still have some other things to wait for. Also, while we're out here, we can look for other potential resources that might be on this island. But yeah, I'm still, like, kind of learning the game, so combat's a little bit rusty for me. But eventually we'll get better. Also, this over here is clay. Clay spawns these little deposits like this. And contrary to what you might think, you actually use the pickaxe to mine the clay. Actually going to gather a little bit while I'm here. Just because I need this to make more clay bottles and more tinctures back at the base. As well as I need it to make more copper refineries. Well, the copper smelters, which would be very helpful for hooking up all that copper and continuing to progress, as we can use it to make ammunition, which is very helpful in fights, as you just saw. And we can also use it for repair kits and other upgrades for the ship, which will help us get to Tortuga much easier, as that is the next sort of target. And I will also have lots of trade goods to bring with me to Tortuga, and hopefully get a lot of money. And that's kind of like the next big piece of this game. So I'll explore. If I find anything interesting, I shall let you guys know. Alright everyone, welcome back to the base. I found nothing else really of note on the island, but we now have a bunch more charcoal ready to go. And like I said, I gathered up all that coal so I could build another one of these, just in the crafting utilities. Down here, the smelting furnace. And we're simply just going to place another one of those right there. And so we can split up the load between the two of these. Do 20 in that one. And whatever we have left can go into this one. 10. There we go. It's another 30 copper ingots being made on top of what we already have. It's something cool about this game is that you actually have like global kind of storage as long as it's in this like base area. Yeah, so storage is kind of global. So as long as there's storage, for example, copper and coal being in here, I can smelt it whenever and wherever in my base, which is very helpful. Or like the clay. There's 50 clay in there, none in my inventory, but if we look up here, there's a bunch of clay over here. So it's very helpful for crafting up different things without having to have a bunch of things in your inventory. Very nice. Also, this is kind of where you can see all the different people that you have. So right now, it's just this guy here right now. It's a doctor. Hopefully we'll get more people. Yeah, keep the industry cooking up. Now, let's go see if we can do any upgrades. First, we're going to do a little upgrade ourselves with this base by going over to stairs and fences. We're going to grab a couple stick stairs, and we are going to throw these onto the dock right here. And we have a nice easy way to get up and down from our dock. And now we can also go take a look in here at the shipwright's workshop. So, I want to upgrade some hull bracing, which will give us extra defense, and some boarding party gear. Better gear means better armed boarders, which increases the power of your crew while boarding. So this benefits my crew, this benefits defense, and then of course this is for general combat. And we can upgrade, but we don't have anything quite yet to upgrade. And so to do that, we need to get a few nails, a few rough fabric, which is made up here at the workbench. So of course fabric, we need like 10, that's usually about what we need. And then we needed some nails. I'm gonna make 3 just to get this down to a nice even stack. There we go. Now that we have that, we can come back up here and do some more crafting. And so now we should be able to make the hull bracing and the boarding party gear. Very nice. And now we can go to our ship, where in here we can actually repair this with wood, which is very handy, and all sorts of other things. Mainly, we want to go here, manage ship, and we want to put these on. Very helpful. And we don't have I'm assuming that's like a manifesto of some form. We don't have that yet, but we have some of the other things. And now we can also load this up with more cargo for Tortuga. So yeah, that's kind of like step 1 of the trip to Tortuga got done. The next step is going to be trying to make a few more of these repair kits. The combat repair kits require these steel nails, which I have really only found by salvaging wreckage. These guys drop from pirates, and then these we craft. So they're a bit more expensive to get. Probably just be easier to build a couple more normal repair kits.
I'm trying to mix medicinal. It
then
ruined the juice.
can upgrade some of our armor potentially, which might be helpful, or our weapons. We can also upgrade some of our weapons, but it's a bit expensive to upgrade some of the weapons right now, mainly taking a lot of copper. And right now we have some copper cooking up, but not like a lot. However, we can use this to make a few more copper bullets. I think we are going to be about ready for Tortuga. I'm going to get some more wood, craft up some more of that, and move the trade goods over to the ship, and I will be back once I have that done. Okay, so big news discovery. The ore actually does respawn. I was coming in here to get myself just simply get myself some more of the rock. I was going to mine some of the waste rock. But it appears that the mine has like sort of reset itself. It seems the ones that were placed in kind of like normal areas are still here, but the ore has actually all respawned. So that is good news. It seems that the ore does actually respawn in the caves after a while, which is very, very, very nice. I was worried that would not be the case, but it turns out that it is, and I am very happy about that. Anyway, I should now return to my grind, and I will see you guys again, most likely once I have finished gathering all of my materials that I want for the base, which is going to probably be some more copper, and then some more copper and some more rocks to kind of begin working on this smelting area while we work on other things. Yeah, I'll see you then. So, I'm starting to kind of build the new little section here, and something I have noticed is you can actually hold down the button, as you can see here, you can slowly move over and actually build like this and kind of like snake around and build like you can click and drag and do like the zoop if you've ever done like a Satisfactory. Go to a zoop building. So it's actually very cool and neat that you can do that in this game. You can also like kind of control like how it goes, so you can actually do cool shapes like this and such. So yeah, and then of course easy enough to leave that once you've done it. Just wanted to quickly show that off as I was building. I just discovered that. Actually, this kind of good opportunity to discover what I am doing. So I am building kind of the area that these are going to go in. It's going to be very rudimentary, but it's just something to kind of put them in for right now. And that's going to be right here, kind of outlooking the beach, crossing this section here, and also, you know, kind of in line with that. And then once this is done, I'll take these down, move them into here, and then probably be ready to make course towards Tortuga. Probably trying to fight those two on the way out, because they're probably going to still be there. Alright, everyone. I am back after a good amount of building, and it is finished. It's not the best looking thing ever. Just trying a couple new things, mainly trying to incorporate a couple chimneys, but it is functional. So we have the little front area, which is actually kind of the resource deposit area. This is now where I can shove all of this stuff, and probably where this sort of stuff will lie in the future. Silver might not stay out here, but for the most part, metals and stuff will stay out here. That's what all this is, and we got a few fun little decoration bits. Inside, we have 3 smelting furnaces, all set up, ready to go. And a kind of little chimney design here. And then we have 3 of the charcoal kilns. Ah! Aha! Okay, actually, I need to go fix that real quick. That's an easy enough change. Okay. Yeah, just designed a chimney over our top. So I'm going to have to change that later. You know, it's fine. We can make this work. It's just going to be a matter of let's take the wall. Do that. And we'll just do that. Sort of hide it from the outside a little bit more. So now we have all these that actually work now. Go. And all these. Also, I need to get more stone. I got a lot more copper as well. Just, you know, 3 rows with 1 stone type of deal. So, continue making more copper. And we will continue making more charcoal. Now, the other plan I have to do, and honestly, actually going to probably be the end of this episode, is going to be getting the kind of like few extra preparations ready for Tortuga, but we're not going to go to Tortuga today. Definitely a whole other video on its own going to Tortuga and selling the goods. But we got the ship loaded up with goods. We go over here to the wharf. We should be able to see it. 3 ships. We have all of our goods loaded up, ready to go trade and find other things over in Tortuga. Not only that, I've also added some lights. So we actually have some lights now over here, and we have some lights in the bedroom as well. Other than that, not much has changed other than the new little building over there that has been added. The other thing we should probably do before we go to Tortuga, craft more alchemical bases. And then we should craft at least 4 healing potions. We can actually make one of these elixirs of cruelty. See how that plays. And then we'll make another one of these. And so one big thing to do, now that we have all this copper, is a few extra things to get ready for Tortuga. Mainly, we want to have the stuff for a bell. We can make 3 of that. And that makes us a fast travel bell. Now, fast travel bells are really handy because that lets us make these, so fast travel points. And when we go to those, we can travel between fast travel points. So, for example, I can actually travel over here to my other temporary base, which is actually over there is where the ship was originally wrecked, and that's why I had to go fix it. So we set up this little basic little area, basic crafting, and a little tiny little house, which I remembered there was more stuff over here. I'm actually going to grab all this and then dismantle this. And for right now, this is kind of set up here because there's these three, like, kind of dungeon places that we could go and fight. Get some level up. It's also this cave, which I need to finish fighting and get a level up there. And that would probably be worthwhile to do here soon. Maybe even before Tortuga, we shall go fight those. But yeah. So we have that, and so this fast travel point is still here. But honestly, once we've kind of knocked these out and, used a bit of this copper mine, we'll probably move this fast travel point somewhere else. We also have another set of ruins over here, which is very intriguing, and we should go visit that. So, goal next episode is going to be head down to Tortuga, all the way down here, scouting out islands on the way. And then once on Tortuga, we have a couple different objectives. Main one is head over to the Tortuga market. But the other one is to find the underground network, and that is asking around Tortuga about smugglers. Smugglers is going to give us access to this sort of loot here, which is great. And so that allows us to sell stuff like the clay vases, these bone beads, wooden talisman, and silver buttons. Those can all be sold there. These are currencies, I believe, that we're using Tortuga. And then these are also handed into Tortuga in any archipelago faction to gain reputation. So this will be very, very helpful. So we have lots of stuff to do in Tortuga. We also have these silver spoons, which we can sell. And you go find the rest of those. That's how the fast travel points work. And the plan is to, if there's not already one at Tortuga, we shall set one up in Tortuga and be able to quickly fast travel to and from. And we can build a maximum of, I think, like 6 of these around the map. So we do have to be sort of careful where we put them. But they're very, very helpful for the fast travel like that, especially between different camps. So that is the play. So we now have this ready to go. And the only other thing we need is just a little bit of wood, like so. Right here. A little bit of wood, and then we can fast travel. Only 10 of them. Yeah, only 10. And then we can teleport between the two of them. It's very handy. This I should actually probably build soon, the disassembly table, because I have quite a few, as we've probably noticed me running around. There's a few glittery bits on the ground occasionally, like this. These are my old pants. So that disassembly table will allow us to decraft those. And so probably what will actually be next, maybe I'll do it between episodes, we'll see, is a little workshop area. I mean, honestly, I might just move this table into here, but we might build a full workshop area kind of over here and move away from this here. And probably move the kitchen into here. So yeah, we have a few things to work on in the next episode. I bid you all a farewell, and please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to see more of this, or on anything I might improve, or any tips. Preferably, no spoilers, but generalized tips are completely fine. Y'all have a wonderful morning, evening, night, whatever it might be, and I will see you in the next episode.